Hey everybody, it's Lon Seidman on behalf of Plex for Plex Pro Week. I am a dad of 2 kids, and we use Plex quite a bit here in the house for planning what we're going to watch. Not only what we're going to watch off of my personal media server, but also what we might stream from some of the services we're subscribed to, and even what we're going to watch in the movie theater if we decide to go out. And of course, Plex has an extensive amount of media information that's available on every platform that I've got in the house here with a screen, and it's really useful for making decisions about what we're going to watch. And of course, Plex has some great ratings and reviews, not only from critics, but from fellow users. And they've just added a new feature that I think is going to be very useful to parents called Common Sense Media. It's going to be available initially on mobile platforms. Now, this feature will show up as a little green check mark in the section where you can get information about the age appropriateness of the content. And if you have a Plex Pass and you tap into it, you will get a lot of information about what to expect in the thing that you're about to watch. Now, my little one loves going to the movies. She loves watching all sorts of stuff, but she doesn't like the really scary scenes, even if the overall content is not a horror movie. And as a parent, it's kind of good to know what to expect going in so that I can prep her for it. And one of the things that I like about Common Sense Media here is that they don't spoil the plot, but they do give parents some information about what to expect. And you can have a conversation with your kid before you go in or decide whether or not to even watch something based on what they put together here. And I have Gremlins here as an example because back in the 80s when I was a kid, when this movie came out, everyone, at least parents, thought this was a cute movie about a little dude here named Gizmo. But as people got to the movies, they discovered it was more of a comedy horror movie, and parents were very concerned about that, and it eventually led to the creation of the PG-13 rating. But now we've got a lot more information at our fingertips via Plex with this new feature, so why don't we have a closer look. Now, Common Sense Media is a nonprofit organization that's been around for over 20 years. In addition to their movie and TV show ratings, they work with schools and families on other areas of technology. And it's a great organization to check out if you need a little help making sense of the world that your kids are entering into. Now, you will find these Common Sense ratings on just about every piece of popular media, even stuff from the 80s as you saw before. So if we go into Superman here, you can see that it does have a Common Sense rating. Now, if you are on the free Plex tier, you just get the age rating. You don't get any of the additional detail. But the age rating, I think, is actually better than what you would get from the Motion Picture Association or from a TV rating, in that they really dive into the content to figure out the age appropriateness of it. So this one is age 12 plus on a PG-13 movie. Now, if we tap into this with our Plex Pass, this is where we get all of the additional information, and they provide a lot of reasons as to why they have given this a 12 plus rating. So the violence level there is a bit high, even though it's superhero type of violence, and you can dig in and see exactly what led to that rating. If you're concerned about drinking, drugs, and smoking, you can see what to expect there. And this gives parents a lot of information about the things they may be concerned about. So some of these things might be important to you and others not, but they give you just about everything you need to know. And then, of course, you've got the Need to Know section here, which provides more of a narrative. They do have a rating here. This is kind of a rating that you would see from a critic, but from a parent's perspective. So you may or may not agree with it, but it's there as an additional piece of information. What I like quite a bit here, though, is the Talk to Your Kid About section, because it's not just about getting them to be prepared for something that might upset them, but it's actually giving you some prompts to have your kids critically think about what they just watched. So for example, these days, after I watch a TV show or movie, I'm often going to some of these YouTube channels that dig deep into the content so I can think about it a little bit more. And that kind of habit can get started with these great conversation starters that they integrate right into the feature here, which I think is great. Another thing they have here is the Any Positive Content component. What can your kids get out of this? So for example, they've got positive role models here that they talk about, like Clark Kent and Superman, how he embodies truth, justice, and responsibility. They've got the positive messages here about the themes of hope and unity. And if a film or TV show doesn't have these things, they tell you that as well. So you get a full picture here about what media your kids are consuming and whether or not you want to have them see it. So if you are a parent, a teacher, or a caregiver and you're trying to figure out the level of appropriateness for a piece of media that you're about to put in front of a kid, I think this feature will be very helpful in giving you what you need to make that decision. And if you don't need the feature, it is very unobtrusive. It just sits here underneath the title. You probably won't even notice it if you don't need to get access to it. But if you do, there's a wealth of information waiting for you with a tap of the finger. On behalf of Plex, this is Lon Seidman. Thanks for watching.